Okay, so moving on. It is getting uglier by the day. Have you heard about this lawsuit? A group, CAIR, it's called, spearheads a boycott of Michael Savage's radio show following some comments he made about Muslims. What Savage is doing now and why there could be big legal ramifications for CAIR coming up next.
It's time to stop hiding behind your pillow. Speak it out at the supermarket. Tell them what you think of Islam. Tell them what you think of Muslims. Tell them what you think of these things. Stop hiding what you feel. Say it to everybody you meet. Let them prove it's a religion of peace.
Well, Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, the fight between radio talk show host Michael Savage and the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR. It is getting a whole lot uglier. Late last year, CAIR began calling for a boycott of Savage's popular radio show after he made comments like this one.
I'm not going to put my wife in a hijab, and I'm not going to put my daughter in a burqa, and I'm not getting on my old fours and praying in Mecca, and you could drop dead if you don't like it. You can shove it up your pipe.
So Savage, who then began losing advertisers, then sued CAIR, claiming the group misused those audio clips and took them out of context. Now Savage is upping the ante, amending his complaint against CAIR, accusing it now of extortion. So, can Savage actually make that case? Let's ask our panel, defense attorney David Wall and former prosecutor Trish DeAngelis. Good morning.
Good morning, Megyn.
Okay, so it gets uglier and uglier. David, let me start with you. Extortion, what exactly is he claiming CAIR extorted?
Well, he's suing him under RICO, which is Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organizations. It was originally used for the mob, Megyn, but now it's been given a much broader application. What he's saying is they've used repeated unlawful conduct that has damaged his employment to basically take him off the air. Now, this has been used against the LAPD for the Rampart scandal, against corrupt cops. It's been used against corrupt judges in Chicago. And the big thing here, Megyn, and what really makes it a powerful tool against CAIR is that if he wins this lawsuit, he can collect treble damages, which means you calculate the total amount of damages and you multiply them times 3. So that's what makes it very powerful.
Yeah, if you win on a RICO claim, you get big dollars. But Trish, does he actually have that claim? RICO's pretty tough to prove, and is it really made for this type of circumstance?
You know, no, Megyn, I don't believe so. And what they're doing here is they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink into this lawsuit. Prior to this, I thought the lawsuit was great as it stood. But you know what they're doing, Megyn, here is they're throwing everything. CAIR's going to come back and say, you know what, we didn't know these terrorist organizations were going to do these things. We're just supporting Muslims. We're all for civil rights. And it's going to be complicated for the plaintiff or the petitioner to prove in this case. However, Megyn, it doesn't matter if they can prove it. What matters, and I'll tell you something, the attorney in this case for Michael Savage is very bright, because what matters is that the jury hears this. It's like, it's prior bad act evidence. You remember that from evidence, Megyn? It's prior bad acts. And if the jury hears all this information, it is very damaging for CAIR.
And David, the information she's talking about is, among other things, Savage alleges that CAIR aided and abetted Al-Qaeda, and he goes on from there trying to expose what he says are this group's ties to terror.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary pleading, Megyn. Remember one other thing. The federal government, the U.S. federal government, has named CAIR an unindicted co-conspirator for funneling money to Hamas, the terrorist organization. I mean, that's huge. The other thing is that this RICO suit could prove to be very appropriate in exposing exactly their 10-year history, or actually their 25-year history of what they've done in supporting terrorism. So, you know, it's big, and it's also not the first one, Megyn. There's another RICO suit going on against CAIR right now, filed against by a man in New York against this organization. So this is the second one, actually.
Well, let me get CAIR's response out there, because we asked them for a comment, and they gave one to us in response to this latest lawsuit. So let me read it to you. They say there is absolutely no truth to the libel put forth by Savage against CAIR. CAIR is not only a law-abiding institution, it is a law-defending institution that fights to uphold the Constitution and the application of its laws. Savage's baseless smear is retaliatory in nature, given that CAIR has taken a tough stance against the chilling anti-Muslim bigotry with which he has recently gone rampant on his show. Savage is the one who has a history of frivolous lawsuits against critics, says CAIR. So Trish, let me ask you, are they going to be able to convince a jury that this is more about PR for Savage than it is about legal merit.
Megyn, I'll tell you something. David hit it right there when he said that the U.S. government, the federal government, has come out and named CAIR as an alleged unindicted co-conspirator in funneling $12 million to Hamas. The founder of CAIR indicated, it outright said that he supports Hamas. I think CAIR is going to have a very difficult time here defending this lawsuit. I don't know if the RICO allegations are going to be proven, but like I said, it doesn't matter, Megyn. You get a jury of 12 Americans there, and you're going to have a real problem. And I think Michael Savage, go for it, Michael Savage. You know, I don't think Michael Savage even cares about the money here, Megyn. He is doing this for a higher purpose, and I hope he takes them to the cleaners and takes them for all they got and shuts them down in the end, Megyn.
All right, well, we have a legal panel united on Savage's side. We'll see whether the jury feels the same. David Walt, Trish DeAngelis, thanks so much for your insights on it. One final word for our viewers. Win or lose this lawsuit, Michael Savage is right about one thing, and that is that CAIR loves to threaten lawsuits against anyone who criticizes the group. Is that fodder for a racketeering claim? I doubt it. But it should be a fascinating lawsuit to watch.
All right.